are live today again, and today is gonna be the last live stream of this year. I'm so happy for people who are joining right now. I'm Susmita, you know me, and he's Shivang. He will be telling us today about GSoC, and one of the amazing part about him is that he cracked GSoC on his first attempt. Yeah, and he will be talking a lot about how you can prepare for GSoC, what you can do, tips and strategies, and how he did, and all about it. So yeah, Shivang, over to you. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, I'm Shivang Shandelia. So, all those who don't know me, let me give a quick introduction about myself. I recently got an internship role at Zero Code as a DevOps intern. I am also DevOps and open source advocate. When I say advocate, I mean I have helped a lot of folks get into DevOps and open source. I have also, as the crux of this video is, I cracked Google Summer of Code under CNCF, and I also serve as a CNCF New Delhi organizer, basically where we organize events advocating about CNCF and DevOps ecosystem. So if you want to get involved with that, then you're more than welcome. And happy new year in advance, and I'm really glad that you folks are joining us here on this new year eve, and I'm hopeful that you guys would get to learn something. So yeah, Sushmita, let's begin. You're on mute, Sushmita.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, tell me, how did you learn about the Google Summer of Code and open source? Like you in college, like most of the college students don't know about it, right? So yeah.
Well, I was, like, to be brutally honest, I was pretty afraid of getting into Google Summer of Code because in the first glance, when you take a look at GSoC, you think it's a like reputed program, and how myself of having such limited knowledge of our tech stack, how am I going to get into such program? So in like my third year, like till my third year, I was just following that regular data structures and algorithms, and the path that most of the folks work on. So I was also in that rat race. So I saw GSoC, I was like really overwhelmed, and I was like, I would never crack that. And then I started watching some videos of folks who've cracked it, and in my sixth semester itself, I delved into DevOps ecosystem. So as I was getting into DevOps, I also got to learn about CNCF. If you all don't know what CNCF is, Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So I got to learn about CNCF, about cloud native ecosystem, cloud native tools, and then I reached out to one of my seniors who cracked GSoC the previous year, and he told me like what are some strategies on how you can crack GSoC. So I followed some of those strategies that I'll be sharing with you all today, and yeah,
Sure.
that really helped me crack GSoC.
Yeah, sure. And frankly speaking, I'm still procrastinating on applying for GSoC since last 2 years. Yeah, hopefully I will apply for this year soon.
Yeah, you should. You should. It's a really amazing program, and you get to learn a lot. Well, aside from learning, you get to network a lot because from the project
Exactly.
I was involved in, I got to network with my mentors, and like we are kind of friends now. Like my mentor and I like whatever I achieve, I just share it with him, and he's just so happy. Like aside from like learning part and project all, we don't really discuss project and all that. We just discuss our daily stuff. Hey, I cracked this. I got into this, and he's so happy. He's like, I'll put in a good word and all that. These are some amazing perks, I think, for Google Summer of Code. So I think that is the real value aside from the stipend, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Because networking is the key.
Yep, always.
Okay, so tell us about your GSoC experience. Like when you are applying for GSoC, like which project did you work on, and all other such things. Like how are the mentors, and about how you are getting stipends. Like little by little, like your entire GSoC experience.
Okay. So, like I said, like I was like pretty late to know about GSoC. Like right now, whenever I preach about get into how to get into GSoC, I usually tell folks like in January, organizations are listed on GSoC page, and start or contributing to orgs that you are targeting, like from right now, so that you can have better chances when applying for the real project. So, but I was like pretty late to all this stuff. I like started in March itself, like in the 1 month period where you have to prepare a proposal only. So I started my GSoC then and there only. And as I said, I was uh, getting involved with CNCF as I was doing DevOps. So I was like mainly, into like I just wanted to get into projects under CNCF ecosystem only because I was so into CNCF at that time. So I only targeted CNCF. Now under CNCF, those who don't know, there are like three different kind of projects that come: sandbox, incubating, and graduated projects. So difficulty increases obviously if you are aiming for sandbox. It's pretty easy to get into those. Then obviously going into graduated, as graduated are like mostly popular, so mostly folks get want to get into those projects. So I mainly wanted to, like, as I was going through and I knew my tech stack isn't that good, so I saw one of the projects that basically aligned with my tech stack at that time. So I went ahead with that. It was surprisingly a sandbox project under CNCF itself. It was called Armada. It is known as Armada project, basically, and it's a really small community because it's not really popular. So it's only comprising of 150 folks currently, and maintainers are the only one who are like the backbone of the project right now. They're handling everything and all. So that is how I went with Armada. So as I went with Armada, I got to know that, so that project that I had to work on, but the main project was, like we all know, there are command line tools for most of the tool. Like, I think I do correct me, Susmita, for Node.js. I think we do Node, right? Node do this,
Yes.
Node do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, with Armada is having its own command line tool called Armada Control, and folks who are into DevOps might know about Kubernetes. So Kubernetes has its own command line tool known as kube control. So my job
Okay.
was
So,
to
what is? Sorry to interrupt, but what is this
uh
Armada? Is it like something like NPM or Node, or is
okay.
it's something else?
So if I have to touch a bit, I would say Armada is a multi Kubernetes cluster batch job meta scheduler. Now, don't get confused with the terminology because it's quite difficult to comprehend at the in first glance. So let me break it to you. Well, when I talk about multi Kubernetes cluster, obviously it works on, like, it can work on different clusters at a single time. And when I say batch job meta scheduler, so basically what Armada does is it forms a new layer over the scheduling layer of the Kubernetes. It gets like forms an additional layer, and what this additional layer helps is to schedule much more jobs than Kubernetes allows. Like, there's a, I think, threshold of how many batch jobs Kubernetes allows us to you know uh, deploy at one time or manage. But with Armada, you can manage up to 1 million batch jobs at once. So that is if I have to touch upon what Armada is, not going into depth. So Armada has its own command line tool known as Armada Control, and as we know, Kubernetes has its own command line tool known as Kube Control. So my job was to integrate Armada Control with Kube Control. Basically, if I have to use Armada control, kube control, I would do kube control, Armada control, and then the command coming after that. So my job
Okay.
was to integrate it with kube control. So
Okay.
yeah, in the first glance, it looked kind of difficult to achieve because, as I said, it's same with everyone. Everyone thinks that, like, imposter syndrome. They all think that we don't know anything, but obviously when you start working on things, then you
Yeah.
your capabilities. So with the help of my amazing mentor, Kevin Hennan is working as software engineer at Red Hat. So he guided me
Okay.
throughout the entire process, and even the not just Kevin, all the community was there to back me up. If it was not Kevin, then there was some other folk who were like ready to guide me. So it was just an amazing experience at Google Summer of Code for me.
Yeah, that means there were really amazing, some of the amazing mentors in the program.
Mhm.
Yeah, It's
Yep.
nice to hear that you work with a software engineer from Red Hat. Yeah.
Like he wasn't a software engineer at Red Hat when I was working with him. Like he was just a maintainer at Armada, like full time. I think
Okay.
I was full time maintainer, and by the end of my GSoC, he switched his jobs and he became a software engineer at Red Hat. He left Armada at that time. So like we were also sharing, as I said, we share each things with each other. So he shared this with me also, and like we were really glad, but at the same time was like really upset as he was leaving the Armada community.
Okay. We have one question in the chat. What is CNCF? In
Okay.
short.
Okay, so CNCF, in short, I have to say, so first, it is Cloud Native Computing Foundation, as I said. So what it aims is to create an cloud like vendor agnostic market. When I say vendor agnostic market, basically it wants us students or developers and the like vendors who are selling their tools. They want both of us to work on open source together on open source tools together. It aims like its basic aim is to make open source cloud native tools. So it wants developers and the vendors to come together and work on such tools. So Cloud Native Computing Foundation overlooks this kind of thing. And if you check up CNC landscape, the new one has just released. So if you take a look at that, then as I said before, there you'll see there are so many projects that come under Cloud Native Computing Foundation. Now, the best thing is Cloud Native Computing Foundation itself does not create these projects. Okay, there are companies like Google created Kubernetes. Cloud Native Computing Foundation didn't create Kubernetes, but Google created Kubernetes and it donated that project to CNCF so that developers and the company or the vendor we both come together and work on that tool to make it even better. So CNCF overlooks that kind of stuff. So I do recommend you to check that out. There are like several opportunities with CNCF. I won't like dive into that because then we'll just shift from our topic of the video. So do check that. Okay. Um, Nikita says many PRs versus quality PRs for showing your presence. Okay. Obviously, I think everyone knows this answer to this question, and I would say it's quality PR. But if you're starting off in open source, I would say like many PRs is never good. Like if you're spamming PRs, that is never a good show off your like you are going to be there in the community for long because it's like you are just aiming for something like if you're like it shows that you're trying to become the member of that organization, and once you become a member, once you get that icon in your GitHub account profile, then you're not going to work at all in that repository with that org. So that's what I think. Like you can do quality PRs, like you can start with basic PRs like uh, correcting the link, like there's a broken link, solve that thing.
Fixing
Or
documentation.
yeah, you can start with those things, but don't make your whole profile with these things, because at the end of the day, if someone approaches you and shows, hey, show me your GitHub contribution, so what are you going to show? Hey, I fixed these grammar mistakes. You're yourself going to be ashamed, obviously. So start with these and slowly start contributing to the code base, and that will obviously, once you'll start now contributing to code base, this question will itself be answered, because all those code contributions will itself be quality PRs. They aren't going to be many PRs. They're still going to be quality PRs as they're going to contribute to the code base. So yeah, that would be my take on this
And
question.
talking about documentation, yeah, it can be quality PRs when you are contributing to a large part of the documentation. For example,
Hmm.
providing a tutorial like Apprite has a repository where you can write a tutorial, for example, like Next.json Apprite. This kind of quality documentation, like bigger documentation, and can be called as quality PRs because you are doing a greater part for it.
Yeah, or documentation, as Susmita said. For this,
Yeah.
we also have Google Summer of Docs. So if you haven't heard of it,
Yes,
like Google
exactly,
Summer of
exactly.
Docs, yeah, itself is focused on the documentation part of the like organizations or projects. So there you are only doing documentation,
It's
but
echoing.
that
Shivang, it's echoing.
okay, okay. Do tell me if it's okay now. Is it okay?
Still not okay.
Uh,
Maybe some network issue on your side.
okay, now is it good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So, as I was saying before, Google Summer of Doc itself is based on the documentation part of the project. So that whole thing is quality contribution. So if you take a look at the like broader in the broader respect, you'll see that just doing small grammatical, solving grammatical mistakes or broken links, they those are like okay for starting off in open source, but in the long term, those are not like good contributions at all. So when you do these, obviously do such code-based contributions or get into GSoC or do those documentation as Susmita just said. Those are itself quality PRs. Those are you'll get the hang of it itself.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope this have answered your question, Nikator. Okay, folks, do put your questions in the comments, and we will be go with that accordingly after a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's continue where we left off. So tell me about how did you find projects of like where you are going through the organizations to find the exact organization and then applying. So what we are doing, like you applied at the last moment, and even and after that you cracked it.
Mhm. So, well, there are certain tricks for this I would share with you all. So, first of all, if you want to find projects that suit your tech stack, first of all, what you can do is go to the Google Summer of Code website, and there you can, search all the projects that previously came or organizations that previously came for the Google Summer of Code. And then what you can do is, like, let's just say you're coding in Python. So there on there's a search tab. There you can write Python, and then all the organizations that bought their projects that included Python with them, they are all going to be listed out. But in my case, as I said, I solely wanted to get involved with CNCF, so I just went there. Already projects were out, and everything was laid out by the time I was getting into GSoC. So I went there, searched for CNCF, if CNCF is there for GSoC or not. It most of the times is, and it was already there. So I went on CNCF. Now, this is a tip that I want to share with you. If you want to get into CNCF or any other project, like don't run behind a name. When I say this is like most of the folks when they hear about Google Summer of Code, they want to get into reputed orgs only. Like let's just say you code with JavaScript, and let's just say
Yes.
JavaScript shows up in Google Summer of Code itself. JavaScript shows
Okay.
itself. So most of the folks are going to be like, hey, I want to get into JavaScript only, and it's going to look good on my resume. Yes, it is going to look good, but with uh, you need to take a higher risk with that, because just like you are thinking, there are like 100,000 folks who are thinking the same thing, that if I get into JavaScript, then it will look good on my resume, and the competition is going to be like real tough. So that like I said, when I got into my GSoC, it wasn't a reputed organization, reputed project, and still I networked and connected with my community like so much, and the opportunities that I got with that were immense. So it doesn't really matter which project or organization you're getting into. Don't run behind names. There are several smaller organizations that are looking for contributors to help them with their project. So I would say get into those, apply for those, and when you apply for these projects, now you have a higher ratio of getting selected, because most of the contributors are running behind those bigger organization, bigger projects, and but that means it's lesser competition for you in these smaller projects. So let's just say you are applying and only 2 3 proposals, your mentor got only 2 3 proposals, so it's easier for him to select the best out of them. But when in like let's just say Kubernetes, I'll take the example of Kubernetes again. Let's just say there are 100 folks who wants to get into Kubernetes this coming upcoming GSoC, so he's going to get 100 proposals for that, and it's not easy for mentor to look up to hundreds of them and select the best candidate. So the candidate who only outshines or only is already reputed in the Kubernetes community is often selected, if you see, because he is having a track record of
Yeah.
already contributing to that project. Obviously, if I am also the maintainer of a project, and I'm getting like 100 200 proposals, and I someone is saying you have to look through them and get the best candidate, and I already am seeing there's a guy who has been like contributing to my project for like few months now, and his performance is amazing, and he also submitted a
Yeah.
proposal. Then obviously I'm going to select that guy, even if you are
Obviously.
much more, yeah, even if you are much more, better than him, and you can do much better, you can perform much better than him, that really doesn't matter. But in smaller project, what happens is you are not having that many proposals, and mentor can take a thorough look at what you are trying to say, what is your approach to the solution. That basically raises your chances of getting selected in GSoC. So yeah, as I said, don't run behind the names. If you do want to get into Kubernetes, let's just say I do want to get into Kubernetes, okay, I do want to. Well, what you can do is, for now, if it's your first time going for GSoC, go for the small project so that you can get a feel of how GSoC works, how everything goes around in GSoC, how we write proposals, how we network with our mentors, network with the community, get a feel about all that. Let's just say you got selected in the smaller project. Obviously, you are going to have amazing time there learning and stuff. Now, GSoC gives you two opportunities to get become a GSoC contributor, like two times. Okay, so what you can do is,
Okay.
then next year again, what you can do is go for the reputed one. Now when you're going
Yeah.
for reputed one, now you're gonna have higher chance of getting selected. Why? The number of contributors who are willing to get into Kubernetes is going to be the same every single time you go. But why it's
Yeah.
going to be higher chance for you the second time? Because you're going there with the experience of, you're going there with take a tricks and tips on how to get into GSoC. Okay, the newbies who are getting into, who are thinking of getting into Kubernetes for the very first time, they won't have those
Yeah.
tricks. You are going to have those tricks, and which is obviously going to give you an upper hand. And then, yeah, try your shot the second time, but don't waste both your chances rushing behind, you know uh orgs
The
that are
bigger
like really,
opportunities.
yeah. So yeah, try your hand, because and obviously if you go for the smaller projects, and once you get selected like mine was, and you'll see the hard work maintainers do all day, because there are literally no contributors in those projects, and they're like asking for you to come and contribute. Okay, they're literally asking for you to come and contribute to their project, but there are no contributors showing because they don't have that much name. They are like smaller projects and smaller orgs, so you'll see the hard work they are doing. So you'll yourself want to promote their project. I still myself, even though
Exactly.
GSoC is over, I still myself promote my Armada project any way I can. I have given talks in international conferences such as Singapore, and virtual talks at like GitOpsCon and all. So whenever I find a chance, I give a shout out to the Armada project and Armada community for the great work they are doing, and how the Armada project is helping folks to power up their Kubernetes work. So, and obviously, I still go into Armada, and if I see any open issues, well, if I see any grammatical or broken link, obviously now I'm at a stage, I've been doing open source for a while now. Now I'm at a stage that would be like really shameful for me to, uh, raise a PR for those issues. Often what I do is, if I see some issues like those on documentation, I open up those good first issues for new contributors, and I mainly focus on the main code based part of the project. I'm still helping with the project. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, just go for the smaller ones. You'll have a better shot of getting into G's.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Now tell me about how you are managing the GSoC timeline, like and then balancing your self side projects, your learnings, and your college and other commitments at the same time.
Well, as I started late with the DevOps ecosystem, as I said, I started with the sixth semester. So there was this thing that I have to do most of the work that people were doing since 4 years. So I like did overtime. I would say like I stood up all night. I was working all night. I was writing blogs. Like, if you'll see, I'm not even lying. Like, you can check out my GitHub profile. You will see there are no contribution, literally no contributions before November of 2022. November 2022, you'll see there are no contributions before that. And after that, you will see the number of contributions I've done. So, like basically in my sixth semester, I started with DevOps and open source itself. And I've got a lot of burnout since then. I still get burnouts because I'm trying to accomplish all the tasks that people have been doing for 4 years now. So yeah, I would definitely not recommend this. So if you are in your first and second year, first of all, no need to do multiple things at once because you'll not master anything then in that case. So don't take me as an example. Uh, I don't know how my thing got worked, but don't take me as an example, I would say. And if you talk about GSoC timeline, so let's just say you got selected. Okay, so how it goes is like first month they don't tell you to start coding immediately. Start code, they don't tell you that. That's the beautiful thing about GSoC. So the whole entire first month is you connecting with the community, you talking with them, making bonds, and that's like the beautiful part that I like about Google Summer of Code. So here you can make relations, and instead in this period what you can do is promote that project, write blog. Okay, you'll read about that project obviously that you contributed to. So if you're having a YouTube channel, if you do create content around that, so like create content, write blogs, promote it by YouTube, do everything that you can for that project. That shows your commitment to the project. So and that entire first month is your community bonding period. Then starts your coding period for the next 3 months. So the first month is bonding, total of 4 months. So next 3 months is like coding period, and it's like really relaxed. They don't expect you to work 9 to 5. Okay, because for
Okay.
them, the project maintainers, this is also a side job. They are also having their main job. This is the side hustle for them. Okay, this is their hobby of big as their maintainers. They are not there. Yes, there are full-time maintainers, but that's not the case. That's not the case always. So yeah, they don't expect you to work 9 to 5. So you do have some time. So let's just say you are working 2 3 hours on your project in a day, then the entire day you are having free. And if you are lucky enough to be in a college like me, who doesn't have a barrier for 70% criteria, attendance criteria, then you
Yeah.
can just do anything, like literally anything. Like that is one of the main reasons I was able to do so much in like 1 year, because my college doesn't have the scientific 70% criteria, attendance criteria. So I still skip college and I only go to give my exams. So that has helped me. I stay at home. I do a lot of stuff. So yeah, if you're lucky enough, and let's just say even if you are not, like if your college is strict on the 75% or 70% attendance criteria, what you can do is, well, in winters it's quite difficult to get up early. I get it. I myself I'm getting up late, so I'm not the right person to preach you about getting up early. So in summers, what you can do is, I don't know if you practice this or not, but there is this thing called Brahma Muhurat. You need to wake up at 4:30.
What's that?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, this is the time of the day before the sun shows up, where the sun rises. So 4:30 a.m. is known as Brahma Muhurat. So if you literally wake up around that time or 5 a.m. na, you'll finish up most of your tasks till 6:30. I can assure you of that. You can, stamp paper, take that on stamp paper and everything. So in summers, I'm talking about right now, though it's like quite impossible. If you're a man of commitment, then go ahead. Then wake up in winters also. But I'm not that kind of a hardworking guy to wake up in winters at 4:30. So wake up at 4:30 a.m. That is called Brahma
That's a
Muhurat.
new
So
thing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
that's
new thing.
even I think if folks have been following, Kunal Kushwaha also follows this. So it's not a like don't take it in a religious sense, but it is like wake up in 4:30 a.m. and try to give this a shot. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
will just
Just a
finish up all
healthy
your
new
tasks.
habit. New healthy
Yeah, healthy
habit
new.
for
Give it a try.
2020.
Give
Yeah.
it a try. If it doesn't work for you, then yeah, just carry on what you've been doing. So if you're having college, let's say you have to reach college at 9. So and you can so you have till 4:30 till 6:30 or 7 to get your things in order, like completing most essential tasks first. Like if you want to contribute to some projects, get up early, search up some issues, and grab some issues or yourself, or make PRs and do all that GitHub contribution stuff. So that open source stuff you can do in morning. And when you come back from the college, let's just say you're coming back from the college at around 5 or 4, anytime around that, and take a nap for 2 hours. No need to come back and start working again. Take a nap, wake up 7, and then you can work on your side stuff. Like when I say side hustle, you can start writing a blog if you like to create content like I do. So write a blog. If you want to create a YouTube video, you can create a YouTube. Well, from 7 to 12, you are 7 to 12 or 7 to 11, you have a whole lot of time. You have 3 hours. So, and I don't expect you to work for 3 hours. Obviously you'll have a dinner in between, you want some entertainment and all. But if you can stretch that thing from like 7 to 12, let's just say in middle you are taking out 1 hour for dinner and stuff. So I think you can manage that thing pretty easily. And but I hope that
Yeah.
you folks get into college that don't have that 70% thing. So if you don't have the 70% thing, then so you have whole day free. Okay, do anything you
Yeah,
want, but
but
don't
it's still
waste.
hard. It's still
Ah,
hard for
it
those
is
guys
hard.
who are
It is hard.
having 75%
Mhm.
attendance in
Yeah,
college,
it is surely hard.
like persons like me,
Mhm.
like people like me who have those stuffs. And currently, I'm doing MCA, first
Okay.
year, first semester ongoing, and yeah, and they are having this criteria due to which I had to leave my recent my SD internship,
Mhm.
which was a really hard decision for me. But yeah, apart from that, uh, it's really hard for them to tackle GSoC and college. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to a 9 to 5 job kind of thing, while contributing to GSoC and besides having college stuff, so it's really hard for that.
Mhm.
Your college didn't have that criteria, right?
Yeah. Well, you can't have Indian colleges to go easy on you. Well, you have
Yeah.
to, do something. But obviously, don't, if you are having a college, do have 75 or 70% criteria thing, then don't do many things at a time, I would suggest. Because that will lead you to burnout. And in order to cure that burnout, you'll have to take 1 or 2 days free. And in my case was like I was trying to reach up to guys who were far, like I would say, above me. So I was like trying to cover most of the stuff in like 2 semesters only, or a year itself. So I was like trying to grasp everything. And if I went into burnout and I had to take 1 or 2 days free, I was like, guys are getting ahead of me. I can't have a burnout. So I went back to studying and all that. So it was a really tough year, but obviously it really gave me back too. I really had an amazing time. I accomplished a lot last
This
year.
is a
So
it
yeah,
is a
it is
bad thought,
high.
I would say.
Uh, it is a
Yeah,
high risk,
because
high return
if
thing.
you think if you think
Hmm.
that people are getting ahead of you and you have to rush, there's a really very bad thought, I would say, because
Hmm.
obviously you might be a little late, but you're on time in your life
Ha.
because you're learning every day new things. You're
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
on your way.
yep. So, well, it is high risk, high return, I would say. If you are ready to
Yeah.
take this risk, then obviously you are going to reap the benefits. But yeah, I would, as Susmita said, take it slow, learn things at your own pace. Don't take me as an inspiration. I'm saying it again and again. I just got lucky. There are many folks who just like literally, I've seen folks that like give up on their things, like I'm not able to do this, I'll just go back to doing my own data structures and algorithms, I can't do all that stuff. So I've literally seen folks who just like give up, and like they were this close to reach their goal, and they just gave up a little before. So don't be that guy. Take little steps at a time, learn as you go, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. We
Okay.
have one question from Malavi.
Most of the projects got based on that. Okay. Well, as every person out there who started doing DevOps. I'm taking the example of a DevOps person. I don't know much about front end. I've never contributed to front end or back end projects. So as a guy who started,
I did.
getting into
Yeah.
DevOps, so like as every person out there, I wanted to get into Kubernetes. As I said, Kubernetes is a really popular project. And it influences most of the folks who just start into with open source. So I was also influenced. I wanted to get into Kubernetes. I wanted to contribute to Kubernetes. So, and it had like a really huge code base. If you take a look at it, as having 100,000 folks who are contributing to it right now. So it was really hard for me when I was starting out. So I like backed off, and then I got to know how you tackle these projects. So I'm going to share it with you. So if you encounter a project with a huge code base, don't back out. Don't back out like I did. Well, there are certain things that you can do. First of all, take go in the issues section, search out Google good first issues. So when you do good first issues, you will be seeing a ton of issues that are like really good for beginners to dive into project with. So let's just say all of them are assigned already. Some of all of the uh, issues are assigned, and you don't have issues to work with. So what you can do is make issues yourself. When I say make issues yourself, don't just go spamming out like random issues and make much more work for maintainers. Don't do that. That's not a really good practice. So what you can do is start reading out the README of the project. Okay, take it slow. Start reading the README documentation, and as you're reading, you're bound to encounter some or the other mistake. Like let's just say there's a link to something. As I said in the really beginning, like you'll encounter some broken links, grammar mistakes. So you can, open an issue with that. Hey, I was reading the documentation for this and this thing, and then I encountered this grammatical mistake, and I would like to I would like to close this issue ASAP. So if you would be kind to assign me this. So just go ahead, create your own issues, create opportunities, I would say. Okay, don't go if you can't find any opportunities, go and create your own opportunity. Okay, most of the times with, as I said, projects with a huge code base, all the good first issues are already assigned because people just leap onto those issues to get into the project. So go ahead, take a look at these issues, see if you can find any. Let's just say you can't find any issues, everything, even the documentation is perfect, linking and everything is perfect. Now what to do? Now what you can do is, if you want to get involved with the project, then take a different route. Okay, start working with that project. Let's just say you are in, like clone that repository, start working with that project, include it in your projects and stuff. Start working around it. And let's just say you are encountering a problem while integrating that tool in your project. So go ahead in the community and ask, hey, I was trying out this project. I was integrating this tool with my project, and these are the things that are I'm facing issue with. So the people in the community are going to help you out with that. Keep engaging with the community, and once you have been working with that project that much, you'll get a good hang of how a project really works. So now you won't look for good first issues. You'll straight up go and check out some good code issues, because now you've got a good hang of how the tool works. Now you know how the code works. So now you will obviously you आपका मन ही नहीं करेगा to contribute to issues with grammatical mistakes, because that
Yeah.
is the issues you contribute to is what reflects what you are going to contribute to in future only. So you can start with that. As I said before many times, you can start with those to get a good grasp of what project is all about. But I'm saying when everything is like not available, the project documentation is perfect, everything is perfect, so you take an alternate route, get involved by a community, and that is how you can get involved with the project. That would be my take.
Okay. I hope that answers most of your question, Malavi, and whether was saying that most of the issues are assigned. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you, as we said, you have to create. Yeah. Would you like to say something, Shivang, on this?
Yeah, as I said, as I answered for Malavi, most of the issues are assigned, and everything is for create opportunities, as Susmita again just told. Create opportunities. Don't just wait for the opportunities to arise, because we don't know when a new good first issue is going to be published, right? We don't know. So what you can do is obviously go out, do a thorough read of the documentation, docs, and everything, how the project works. They are like literally, if it's a huge code base now, that means the tool is popular. And if the tool is popular, it's going to have a ton of documentation. So you have a ton of stuff to read through. and I am pretty sure there's bound to be some grammatical mistake or like anything, any kind of, because that documentation is written by us humans only, and we tend to do some mistakes here and there. So go ahead, create issues. No one assigns. Okay, if we create issues, then no one assigns what to do. Okay, so obviously, if you have opened up a issue, just say ki I would like to work on this. Write one thing only. Also, I would like to work on this, but don't start working on it right away. Because why I'm saying to write ki I want to work on this, because sometimes when you open up a new issue and you don't write this means that you're opening up an issue for other contributors. You have opened up a issue and you are like, it's you. They think, obviously mentors would think that you have opened up a issue for new contributors, and they would assign to any person who would comment down below your issue. So even if you wanted to work on that, you that'd be a missed opportunity. Then you can't work on that. So just whenever you open an issue, just write a comment down below ki, if you think this issue is something to work upon, then I would like to work on this, and yeah, do assign me. So don't start working on it unless and until maintainer assigns it to you, because he or she, they need to see first if that issue is valuable or not, if that issue is something they need you to work upon or not. Because if you'll just create a PR, then that's just extra work for them. They'll need to see that what is this issue, then they'll see the PR that you have created, then they'll have to see if even if that issue is something to work upon, then they'll have to see a PR that if everything is good or not. So that is basically an extra work for maintenance. Just wait for them. That is one of the, I think, vital thing in open source: patience. I've seen people don't have patience. Even if someone has asked, even if someone is assigned an issue, I've seen other folks get in, raise a PR for that very same issue. Even if it's assigned to someone else, they don't even bother to ask if that guy is working on it or not. So that's something that kind of irritates me, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
most
yeah,
of the people they think it as a competition, and they are just like rushing one after the other.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's collaboration over competition. So do
Yeah.
have patience. Okay, they are obviously, if it's a huge code base, maintainers are going to see your issue. Not today, not tomorrow. Someday they are going to see that issue. So do have patience. Just write that you want to work on that. So don't if you don't want anyone else to come in and work on that one, and don't just wait ki that issue will be assigned to me, then I'll just get engaged in the project. Don't just wait. Okay, even if you have opened up an issue and no one has commented on it, no maintainer has commented on it for like 2 or 3 days, don't just be like, hey, this project is unresponsive, I won't contribute to it any longer. Yeah, there is a huge, as it is a huge code base, there are huge number of issues and huge number of PRs to deal with. So maintainers, as I said, it is not the daily work, daily job. There's a side hustle. So it might take some time for them to take a look at your issue, but by the time like till the time they take a look at your issue, take a thorough reading of content, documentation, work around with the tool, get in touch with the community. That's another other things that you can do while they take a look at your issue. Oh.
Okay. While contributing, have you ever faced a situation like person who is good at so many tech stacks, doing great in the community? If so, how you get settled with the situation? Okay, you settle down.
Okay, so basically you're asking if someone else is good in so many tech stack, doing great in the community. I think that's the question, Melody. Why?
Uh, I guess she's asking you that you are doing great in so many communities, and you know different tech stacks, you know, little bit of front end programming and DevOps too. You recently got an internship. Like how you get settled down with this situation? Is it that okay? Like comparing with someone else.
Okay, okay. So she's asking if someone is doing great in a project or community, and then you have to compare, like, have I compared myself with someone? Well, obviously, I was a beginner like you all when I first started. I won't deny this. Obviously, I started like judging myself ki he got into this, he got into that, and I still sometimes do. Okay, let's be honest. I'm not no saint. Okay, I'm no saint. It's a basic human
Everyone
behavior.
does.
Yeah, everyone
Everyone
does it.
does.
So no need to be ashamed of this, and yeah, accept it खुले में. So I was also I used to compare myself ki yeah, I got into this, I got into that. And there was this guy who like I was kind of who got me into DevOps, and I was like, oh, he's doing so much so good, and he's been doing DevOps for like 4 years. So he was like doing really good, and I was like, he is doing so good. But the thing is, Mallavi, you have to see if there's some guy who's doing great in the community, see how long he's been contributing for. Like if he's been contributing for 4 months, obviously he's going to be good at it. Like you are just starting out in that project, and obviously if you'll contribute for 4 months like him, you'll be someone. You'll be also like that. You'll be also like that guy, and someone else will come along and he'll say, "Hey, Mallavi is doing so good in that project." They won't see how much work you have put in, but they'll see that the end result that you've got there, like, oh, she's become a member at this project, and she hasn't done that much, but they won't see the amount of work you have put in. So it's okay to compare yourself, but don't make it like your end goal. Okay, I have to reach that guy. Don't make that guy your ultimate goal. Okay, obviously we don't know how much he is capable or you are capable of. So yeah, I think it's okay to compare. It's nothing to be ashamed of, really.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we have another question. Is DevOps necessary for GSoC?
No, 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 no. The DevOps is just like another tech stack, just another tech stack. You have, as I said, front end, back end, God knows how many app dev, AI, ML, DL. There's so much going on around these days. Web3 also came along. So there are so many tech stacks. And in Google Summer of Code, Google Summer of Code doesn't only mean DevOps. Google Summer of Code is a program that basically empowers you to get involved in open source. And open source, if you've got a basic idea of what open source is, it is any project that is having a code that we can mess around with. Like I can check around their code, the project code for their app, and I can, clone that project in my mess around with it, do some changes. Obviously that is an open source project, so that project is going to be any kind of project, a front end project, a back end project. So you can yeah, all these projects do come under GSoC. They apply for GSoC, and if Google deems that those organizations to be good, they allow them to come under GSoC. And obviously, as I said, now I took an example for Python, if you do remember when I said how to search projects. So if you are
Yeah,
someone who does front end, and if you are doing JavaScript, so go Susmita also shared the link for the Google Summer of Code site. So
yeah,
go there, write JavaScript. You'll see a ton of projects having JavaScript, even Ruby on Rails, C++. Even the coding languages are C++, C, Java. There's so many languages. DevOps is just another tech stack.
yeah, exactly. Okay, we have another question. What are the mistakes that beginners always do? This while
Uh,
applying to GSoC? Oh, okay, while contributing to open source.
Okay, so open source, as I said, basically when you are starting off in a project, so take a look at the contributing guide. Contributing guide gives you a set of instructions that you are supposed to follow for that project. So take always any open source project is going to have a contributing guide. Even if you take a look at Susmita's GitHub, she is also having some amazing projects lined up, and she is also having contributing guide. So open source projects are always going to have a contributing guide. So I would recommend you to take a look at those. Other than that, as I said, if you have a issue that you would like to work on, and if no one's been assigned or previously, don't just go out and make a PR for that. Okay, even if maintainers don't say anything for that, didn't say anything to you for that, it's not a good practice, because even if no one has answered, even if no one has commented on that issue, go ahead and say, hey, if no one's working on this issue, I would like to take a look. And maintainers will reach out to you, and they'll say, yeah, go ahead, and they'll assign that issue to you. uh, and second, it's already assigned. Take and the guy that issue has been assigned to, he has not been able to work on that. for whatever reason, for like let's just say it's a month old issue and he has been assigned for a month already, so you can go ahead and tag that guy in the comments and say, hey, if you're not working on this any longer, then I would like to take a look. So most of the times they're like, hey, yeah, go ahead. I won't be able to work on this, and then you can proceed with working on that issue. But don't go ahead and make a PR on someone else's issue. That is also, as I said, that is one of the things that like really uh, makes me angry. Still, even after like advocating about open source so much, people still do these things. And one
Yeah,
of the
and
things,
you should wait. And one should, if you're creating any issues or making PRs, you should wait for the maintainer to check it out. It might take more than a week because maintenance might be busy or might be sick. So you should have patience. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and let's just say you joined the community via Slack for some project. So don't let's just say, and you encounter some problem or with tool or anything around that. So don't just go ahead and direct message the maintainer of the project. That is also unethical because they don't know you. And obviously, if I am a maintainer of project and there are 100 people messaging me day and night ki I am facing this issue, I am facing that issue, I'm bound to get angry, obviously. So they don't know you. Okay. Keep contributing to the project. Ask in the general section, general channel of that project, general or random, whatever channel they are having. So ask your heart out there. Okay. Ask whatever issue you are facing in the community. Don't go out messaging to the maintainers of the project. Okay. Uh, so don't do that. And once you're like familiar with the project and you have been in the community for quite a while, and they maintainers know you by name, well, yes, they do. Okay, if you've been an outstanding contributor, they get to know you, and then maybe probably you can message them directly, and they don't mind that kind of stuff because they know that you are a good person, a good contributor, and yeah, they take you seriously then.
I guess in this case, that person have to figure it out on its own, and
Mhm.
also ask
If you're
questions.
facing some issue again, ask in the community because the community folks have already installed that tool, whatever tool that project is having. So if you are having some issue with installation, then ask in the community and community folks are going to help you. That's one of the biggest thing in open source. Community is always there to help you.
Okay, so let's move forward to writing proposals, and we already have got a question regarding that, and hopefully this will answer your question. Okay, so tell me, how did you write the proposal? What tips and strategies you maintained, and which helped you to got selected? Like how one should start writing a proposal.
Okay, so as again, I started out late. There was only 1 month where we had to write proposals. So I just went over on YouTube and searched up how to write Google GSoC proposals, like every other guy out there. I went on YouTube and there I saw the video of this one guy who carefully, I don't know who they are. They carefully explained what all fields that you have to write in a GSoC proposal. He also shared their proposal uh, via a G Drive link. So I took a look at that proposal. I got to know what all things that you need to write. Well, if I have to tell you all, so what you can basically what you do is tell a bit about yourself and who are you, why are you applying to this project, what made you interested in this project. So these are the things that you need to start with when writing a GSoC proposal. Why did you become interested in this project for GSoC? So write that, and then maybe you can share your contact details. I did share mine, like if you need to reach out to me, but on mail, my contact ID, Discord, and all that stuff I shared. Then you need, it is not required. They none of these fields are required, but they obviously give. If you add all these things in a proposal, this gives a good idea to the maintainer that this guy is a responsible guy and he has already laid out his plan. How is he going to move forward? So what you can do is make a time schedule. What I mean is by schedule is you can write the amount of hours you are going to put in throughout a week for GSoC. Okay, so let's just say you can write from Monday to Friday. I'll be putting in 4 hours a day because I'll be having college. But in Saturday, Sunday, as my college would be off, I would be like free. So I'll be putting five, let's just say 6 to 7 hours a day. So you can make a time commitment table. So this gives a better idea to the maintainer that yeah, this guy's committed to work on this project. That's the first section that you can include about us, about me, why you are interested to contribute to this project, your contact details, your time commitment. That's the first section that you can go ahead with. Then the second section you can go ahead with is, let's just say that project includes a tool, and you need to install that tool in order to work on that GSoC project. So what you can do is make a section where you say, hey, I have installed this tool in my local system, local machine, and yes, it is installed and is working fine. So that they know that if they select you, you're not posing any problems in the future, saying, hey, this tool is not working. What should I do? So you don't pose any problems. They have a good idea that everything is working uh, on his machine. So that is one of the things that you can mention. Then in the third section, what you can do is basically here you have to give a proper idea of how you're going to approach the project. So obviously in GSoC, they give you a problem statement, and then you have to figure it out yourself, your game plan, like how you're going to approach. Um, Go ahead, write it on a piece of paper how you're going to approach that problem statement. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then once you have finalized this, don't just write it in the proposal. For now, share that idea with the maintainer or the mentor that has been assigned to you for that GSoC project. So share that idea with them. They're going to take a look at that idea, and they are going to give you, not say that it is perfect or not. No, they are not going to give you a green light, but they are going to tell you if you're going in the right direction or not. Like if you're going in a total opposite direction of what the project is asking you to do, then obviously they are going to correct you. They're going to say, hey, you are going in the wrong direction. Try to take a look at the problem statement again and figure out a new solution. So that is one of the things that you need to take care of. Don't just straight away put your idea in the proposal and just be along with it. So do that. Once, even if they say, hey, you're going in the right direction, do some minor adjustments. So take a look at your proposal again, figure out what he was trying to say. He will drop you hints, but that is up to you how clever you are that you can pick those up. They do give you hints. So pick that up, do some changes in your proposal. Again, share it with the mentor. Okay. Like if they see now that you are putting in the work, they are never tired of taking a look at your proposals. You need to be someone who is like ready to work at all times. You need to put in the work. So share it with him, with them again. They'll take a look again, and then sometimes they do give you green light. Okay, this looks good. So now what you can do is take that proposal, take that idea and put it in your proposal, stating how you are going to start with your project and till what time you are going to achieve this much from that idea, and after this time you're going to achieve how much. Like let's just say you are having 3 months, so in 1.5 months I'm going to achieve this much of the project, I'm going to accomplish this much, and then in the rest of the time that I'm having, then I'm going to achieve this much of the. So there, that gives the proper idea to the maintainers or the mentor. Sorry, I keep on saying maintainers. Mentors,
Yeah.
they get a basic or good idea that this guy has already, made out a basic plan of how everything is going to go if selected for the GSoC as a contributor. So yeah, this basically raises your chances of getting into GSoC.
Okay. So basically, there will be three or four sections in the proposal.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, three or four.
Uh, that is totally up to you. That in three that I said, you can go about us, how you want to get involved, time
Yeah.
commitment, and all that. Then second is if the installation of tool is working or not, and then third, then you can add your idea. So that is okay for the proposals, but you can add a fourth one, but they don't really care about that. But you can still add like related work. Like if you have already worked with those tools in your own project, you have made a project using those tools before, you can add that project, you can add the GitHub link for that project. You can add like what all you are thinking of doing after completion of GSoC. Okay, you can add this small question at the end by yourself, and then add key I'll still contribute to this project in this way even after completion of my GSoC proposal. So GSoC period, so that they get a basic idea, better idea that you don't intend to abandon your project once it's completed. Okay, so yeah, basically you can go with three sections, but having four sections like it's really good because in GSoC a number of, I think they also see how big your proposal is. The number of pages is also, I think someone said to me, it determines your selection. So if you are going for a medium level project, they you need to make a proposal of at least 25 to 30 pages. And if you're going for the large, you can extend that around that, obviously 40 to 45 pages. So you need to create a thorough proposal of how, like, about us and all this won't cover that many pages, but when you are sharing your idea, you need to expand that idea to as much as you can, so that it basically, when mentor is reading that idea, he gets a really good idea of what you are trying to say. Okay, so yeah, that is
Okay, and like
how
an
it is.
overview of what a person is going to do if that person joins the organization, and what he is going to do for the next 3 months, right?
Yeah. Basic layout of the plan, you have to explain it to him in layman words as easily as you can.
Yeah. Okay, so did you contributed it to that Amanda project, like which you are working on after GSOC?
Yeah, I've been, as I said, na, I've been contributing. So, like, if I say not just to code base, if I see on Armada website, I see there's some bug or there's some issue, I go ahead and tell the community, hey, this is some issue and I would like to work on this. I created, as I love to create content on YouTube as well, so I created like I had a podcast with one of the Armada maintainers, Dejan Petsev. So we sat together and we discussed what Armada is, because Armada is really difficult to understand for beginners. So I basically had that podcast so that it is easy for new contributors to get involved with Armada. So we sat together, we discussed what Armada is, how you can get involved with it. And yeah, these are like small things that you can do. I wrote a blog on Armada on how you can get involved. I said, I often give shout outs to Armada project. Like these are the only contributions they are asking for after your say GSoC period ends. So you don't have to go out of your way, contribute to like contribute excessively even after a GSoC ends. You still have to like be involved with the project somehow. So
Got it. Do you have any kind of template, like, or can you share a template type of the proposal which you wrote? Not right now, but
uh
maybe after the station, so that I can share.
haha, yeah. I can share it with you. You can take a look at that.
Well, so we have some questions listed. Manish, what is the proof of work required for the addition in a GSOC proposal for a specific organization, and how many organizations can we apply to GSOC in one time? I guess
Okay, so
number of organization is three as far as I know.
yeah, it is three. You can go for three organization at once, but I would say only go for two, because for all the organizations that you're going to choose, you will have to write proposals for each and every one of them. So let's just say you are going for medium level project for all the three orgs. So that is around like, and you have to write around 25 pages for each of them. So obviously you won't be able to understand any one of the project. So you need to give your entire focus on either one or two projects. And if you think even the two projects are like too much for you, I would say boil it down to one project. If you think you want to get into that project and that project is what you would like to work on in your summer period, then just give your all for that project only. Don't just go for two or three just for the sake of, more the better, because that doesn't work with GSOC. It's quality above quantity. So if your quality is good for one, that is much
Exactly.
better than having submitting it for like three other projects. And if I have to say proof of work is not required because GSoC for if you take a look at what GSoC is, as I said before, it is a program to welcome new contributors to get involved in open source. So it obviously doesn't demand you to already have like really good GitHub profile having open source contributions of another level. They don't expect you for that, but they do expect you to be active in the community and do like obviously contribute to the community as much as you can. So yeah, that they don't expect you to have some high level profile or resume.
Okay. So next question is from Malawi. Did they take interview kind of things before realizing list of selected people?
No, no, no. They don't take interviews. That proposal that you're gonna write, that is your interview only. So make sure you write in. That's why I'm saying again and again. Make sure that proposal is in depth, and make sure that you're writing something that is easily understood by them also, not only by you. Because if it's only understood by you and they are like, what has she written? I can't understand. Then obviously you're going to get rejected. So make sure you're writing. That's why I'm saying whatever idea that you're having, make sure you get it cross-checked by your mentor again and again. Don't just straight away put it into proposal and just submit it. Okay. So go ahead, write idea, share it with your mentor. If they give you a go green light in an unusual way, they won't say it is correct, it is best. I would take you only. They won't say that obviously. So they'll give you an idea or hint. That is up to you how clever you are to pick up those hints, and you are like, okay, he's saying it's a good proposal. But even after he says it's a good proposal, try to improve it more. Don't change the idea then, but try to improve it in a way that it basically uh, like increase your chances and say in that way. So
Like, looks much better and
mhm.
professional.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened? Like, how did you got to know that your proposal is okay, and how what happened after you it got selected? Like, how did they send you an email, or
Yeah. Mhm.
did the mentors reach out to you directly?
No, no, you do get an email from GSoC itself. If you take a look at GSoC timeline, then there's a particular date when selected GSoC contributors are announced. So basically, during that time, like that particular, they are like really time specific. So the time they are mentioning, you'll get a mail at that exact time itself. So you get a mail from GSoC that you are in with GSoC, and then subsequent steps are there. So yeah, mentors don't really contact you directly that you got in.
Okay. Is it necessary to include screenshots of Figma design? I don't think so. Necessary. Maybe you can say
Code,
much better.
like for like one section of the proposal I talked about where you can show that their tool is working on your machine or not. That screenshot that you can put in. Like for me, it was like as I said, it was CLI tool, so I had to install the entire Armada on my machine. So basically, I installed it and I took a screenshot for that and put it in. Like Armada is working on my system, and you can like let's just say you have to create a diagram and all. So uh, if you can do those like draw those yourself, not take out from Google, like even if they are available on Google, let's just say even a simple like normal diagram, try to make it yourselves because it gives an impression that you have put work in this in creating the proposal, not just went out on Google and just copy pasted the images. Because then it gives an impression. My mentor told me this. I'm not like making these things up. Once I got selected, it told me these things. Like, don't just go to Google and copy paste images. Because even if entire proposal is yours, even if you have written that with entire dedication, they think you have also copied that from somewhere. Some parts of it have been copied from somewhere or the other. This gives them an impression. Only the tool is working on your system. Only put the screenshots for that. Otherwise, every diagram that you want to explain things with, that I'm going to approach this with this. Try to make those with your own hands. I would say there are several tools. I think Figma, with Figma also you can draw. Like I think, I don't know. Where I mostly use Excalibur. So if you want, you can go ahead with and use Excalibur to make your diagrams. That would help a bit.
Okay. The question that did yourself introduce? Okay. Whole project or rotor proposal?
What? What? I didn't get your question, Mallavi.
Malavi, can you just make it clear and type it out again? Meanwhile, we are moving forward to the next question. Really confident, like very really confident before selection,
See,
like
no one can be really sure. Even if your mentor gives you a green light, let's just say ki it looks good, your proposal. You can't be sure that my proposal is going to get selected now that the mentor has given me the green light. It's not just you. Maybe there's someone else maintainer has said, oh, it could looks good. It's not just you. There are tons of folks who are like thinking out right and writing really amazing proposals. So you can't be always confident. But I was a bit confident. Why I would say that, as I explained in the beginning, because I was contributing. I was reaching out to a project that wasn't so popular. So I knew that there are not going to be many folks who are going to be interested in contributing to this project. So I think I saw only two folks that were like really conversing in the community regarding my project. They were interested in contributing to contributing to that project. I think the problem statement. There were only two folks that were like arguing in the community with that problem statement. So I knew I didn't have that much competition. There are only 3 to 4 folks. So I had to bring the best proposal from among them. So that's why I've been saying from the start. So go for the smaller projects, and there are better chances of you getting into GSoC. Is it necessary to contribute to those organizations before? Okay, really good question, Manish. If you think, like, if you've been in open source for a while now, so what you can do is, if you think you can contribute to those projects, like, not think, like, let's just say you want to contribute to some org, and in GSoC only, you have selected right now, ki, this is the organization I want to be in GSoC. So what you can do from now itself, you can go ahead in that organization and start working on good first issues. Because obviously, if you've been working from now, and when in March, and like I think around 4th to 5th March, you have to submit your proposals, final proposals. So when they'll see na ki you have been contributing to that project or organization for 3 months straight, so I think they are going to select you, because obviously if it's me also, I'm seeing someone who's been contributing to the project for a while now, and there's some new guy who's approaching me ki I want to contribute, and he hasn't done any contributions before. I'm going to select you only. So that's like basic human mindset. Obviously, they are not, even though they say ki we love new contributors, but we want, at the end of the project, GSoC project, uh, the thing that you're working on, that has to go live. Okay, that has to be production ready most of the times. So they want to have someone who is going to work like real good. So if you've been contributing to that organization or project for a while now, obviously you're going to have an upper hand. So you can go ahead and do this, or you can straight up, when proposal things open up, you can then also get involved in that community. I When I had to do this, as I said, I didn't have that much time left, so I only got involved with Armada when the proposal window was open, and I still cracked it. So I think you still have time. You have 3 months. So if you have already selected, then go ahead and start getting involved at right away.
yeah. So tell me about like some communication and collaboration tips for the students, and also tell me about like is this program only for students, or I guess they updated that professionals can also
Yeah,
participate.
yeah. In 2021, they changed this thing, and now it's no longer just limited to university students. Now, folks who are working professionally can also get involved in the GSoC. And again, if you want to get into GSoC, it all boils down to communication. How will you communicate with the community? How will you communicate with your mentors? Because have patience. Again, I'm saying an open source patient. GSoC is open source, obviously, because open source projects are what are coming to GSoC. So in open source, patience is the key. Let's just say you shared your proposal idea with your mentor to get it cross-checked, and he wasn't able to reach out to you. Don't be, crazy and just message him, like message them ki you haven't checked out my proposal. Please do, please do. Don't irritate them. If they sometimes they don't even take a look at your proposal. I'm saying because my mentor did check my proposals, but I from what I've heard from other GSoC, my fellow GSoCers, like their mentors, even before the GSoC period began, they didn't even take a look at the project ideas. So sometimes you'll meet mentors who, because these are the kind of mentors who don't even want to give an idea of if you're going in the right direction or wrong. Okay, they would want you to be self-sufficient, to self-able to realize if you are going in the right direction or not. So sometimes there are these kind of mentors, so don't be disheartened, uh, and don't just go out and say he is not helping me and such, he is not doing this, he is not doing that, they're not helping me. Okay, have patience. Okay, there are some test.
There's some network issue in your end. It's echoing. Okay, meanwhile, Shivang fixes his echo issue. We can talk about something like open source. Folks who are really very new to open source, I would suggest you guys uh, to check out GitHub, to learn Git, because it's the basic starting point. Is learning Git and GitHub is the main starting point of getting into open source, because you have to work with the projects which are mainly either on GitHub or GitLab. In that case, you need to know some of the Git commands. You need to know how to make an issue, make a PR, which is pull request. It's called PR in short. So these are the basic things which will help you to get into open source and contribute and start contributing into documentation, fixing small good first issues and all those stuffs. Take baby steps one by one after the other, and then you can move forward towards contributing to bigger organizations, and then as we're talking right now with GSoC. Shivang, I hope it's okay now. It was
Yeah,
echoing.
yeah, yeah. I was having some network issues.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay. Go ahead. We have some more questions. Okay, from Malavi. In the org, she is contributing to some organizations, and they release a list of the projects they gonna implement in that particular year, and let the contributors to wrote proposals in this with your org as well. Sorry, did you get that question?
No, no. I
Shivang?
think it is specific to your organization only. Uh, I haven't seen, like I've been involved with a few open source projects and organizations, and I haven't seen this being implemented anywhere. So I think this is like particular, exclusive to your organization, and this is like whichever org is doing this. I think this is like really good thing, and there are like many chances of you to get involved better in that organization. So yeah, it is not same for everyone. So if that answers your question.
So the mentors of that organization provide
Yeah, they
problem
do.
statement on which. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
they
what
do.
kind of
Once
problem
the
statements?
Okay, so once GSoC period begins, the organizations that are listed out for the GSoC 2024, they're going to share the projects and the projects that are coming to GSoC. Now, when I say projects that they are going to share, is what I mean is like, let's just say CNCF is a like really big organization, and there are like hundreds of projects that come under CNCF. So CNCF lists out the projects that are going to participate in GSoC, and those projects themselves are going to have another 4 to 5 problem statements. So there are around like 50 problem statements from CNCF itself. So like I was with CNCF, so CNCF had many projects again, and Armada project was one of the project that came with CNCF, and Armada project had two projects lined up, problem statements lined up, and I went for one of them. And problem statement can vary according to the needs of the project. Like if they want to work on something and they are thinking this is good for a Google Summer of Code, then that is totally up to what project you are applying for. They have different problem statements, and there are levels for that problem statement. One I went for was medium. That is what medium means is that it is not that hard, and it can be completed in like 150 hours. So I think, yeah, it is not that hard.
Your net.
There are hard projects also. Now, hard projects are obviously hard. Yeah, I think I'm having some network issues now.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
okay.
hope we can finish this topic easily.
Yeah,
And okay, so there are hard projects also, and those hard projects are like, as the name suggests, they are like quite. They need you to have some skills, and they are like pretty long. So they take around 350 hours, as they mention, to complete. So don't worry about the number of hours. If you can't complete the project in 3 months, GSoC is kind enough to increase the time period. So all you have to do is, if you can't complete it, you need to reach out to your mentors that I need more time to work on this, and they extend the period by 1 month, so you can work it on it like easily. So, and the amazing thing that is going to happen from GSoC 2024 is you are going to have easy level projects. So there's a much higher chance for beginners to get involved in open source. So they are going to be easy
that,
level projects, and it's, yeah, they are going to be, obviously,
that's
as the name suggests, they're going to be easy to work on.
that's a good news for beginners who are starting out.
Mhm.
Okay. How will you select the 2 to 3 org according to your tech stack from those huge orgs? Because most of the orgs have really hard code base. Now,
Uh,
all code bases are hard if you're starting out. Everything is hard until and unless you want to
Smart, I
dive in.
think, yeah, that is up to you. Yeah, yeah. As Susmita said, that is totally up to you. You are going to be the one who is going to see which organization you want to select and which you want to go for this GSoC, because every organization is going to be hard. There's not going to be any organization that you will open up and you see, oh, this code base I can work around with. Okay, there's not going to be any project like that. So yeah, every project is going to be hard. It's up to you which one you want to go with for your GSoC.
Yeah, a new challenge. Like you have to take it as a new challenge.
Yep.
Okay. How many hours per week we have to give to work during the GSOC period?
I think this is also up to you. The
Yeah.
time commitment thing I mentioned in the proposal, that gives a idea to the mentor, but it is again up to you. If you want to wrap up the project real quickly, then you can work around for like 9 to 10 hours. It's all up to you. But you can obviously take it easy. You can go for like, you can give around 3 hours a week. 3 hours a day. Okay. You can give 3 hours from Monday to Friday weekdays, and for in weekends you can work a bit more, so you can put in more work and you can wrap it up uh, fastly. So yeah, that is totally up to you. I don't think I'm the right guy to guide you for this. You are the one who knows how much you can put in.
Okay. How did it feel like when GSoC ended? Like, how did that feel? And also, how did that affect your career, your journey of open source? And is it also mandatory to put GSoC in resume, or a person who doesn't do GSoC is also good to go and have a better career?
Okay. So obviously, when as I said before, I maintained a personal kind of relationship with my mentor, and at the end of my journey, GSoC journey, he kind of left the project I was working with. So I was kind of heartbroken because we won't be able to work as much as we used to, and there would be no more weekly calls with him to update him about the project. So yeah, that was the one thing I was heartbroken about. But at the end, it was an amazing program. It was an amazing time I had. Um, we had the last community call at the end of my project, where all of the folks from the Armada community came in, applauded me for my efforts, and obviously it would have been possible because of the amazing community. Again and again, I'm saying, uh, and yeah, it impacted a lot for my future opportunities because it opened up many doors for me. Because if you see one of the talk I gave um, this month in Cube Day Singapore, that was about how you can get involved in these programs, open source programs via open source. So, and if I didn't clear this GSoC, I wouldn't have been the right guy to talk about this on in an international conference. So obviously, cracking GSoC helped me, speak in an international conference uh, in for the first time, and yeah, that was one. It also opened many opportunities as this guy can work around. He has worked on a project professionally, so that also kind of opened. People started noticing my work. That also kind of helped me a bit. And if talking about resume, GSoC clearly mentions that GSoC is not an internship, so you can mention it in your resume as an apprenticeship of some kind, but you can't write that you did an internship at Google, because Google, it is not an internship. Google clearly mentions you can write mention Google Summer of Code in your resume, but you can't mention it as an internship. You can mention it as an apprenticeship. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
What's the basic difference between that apprenticeship and internship?
Apprenticeship is basically where like folks are like where you're working, they are like helping you around. Okay, they are you are not you don't have to do everything yourself. Okay, they are helping you around. If you're stuck somewhere, they're going to guide you along the way. Obviously this happens in internship also, but in internship there doesn't happen on that much larger scale. In internship you are if you're selected for internship, you're selected on the basis of your skill, and you are supposed to they think that you are I think eligible enough to work on some problems yourself. They are not going to, they have this mindset that they don't have to spoon feed you or don't have to guide you along the way. But in apprenticeship, obviously, the GSoC, as I said, is for beginners to get involved into open source. So they are there in every step of the way to help you if you get stuck in either like in the smallest of the things. So I think that is the like main difference between apprenticeship and internship.
Okay. So would you like to share any? Okay, it's already 1 hour 30 minutes. So would you like to share
Mhm.
any final tips and strategies for the audience? The
Final tip.
secret tips.
So, secret tip, I would say, again, I've been always saying this, communication is the key. Uh, the amount of communication that you are going to do with the community. Don't just be like, hey, I have applied, I'm thinking of getting into GSoC with this problem statement, and I'm really looking forward to working with the community. Okay. Now you haven't spoke to the community for 1 week, 2 weeks, and now straight away messaging the mentor, say, hey, see my idea of my proposal. Hey, why aren't you seeing the idea of my proposal? Why would he? Because you have not been communicating with the community. So keep on communicating, even if it's not related to your GSoC. if someone is coming to the community, these are some basic things. Someone is coming to your community, say, hey, welcome to the community, and take a look like before the maintainer share the getting started guide, you should be the one like sharing. You should show the initiative that you are ready to get involved in the community. You are ready to give your all. So yeah, just do everything. Join weekly calls. Weekly calls are not required for GSoC, but you can come into weekly calls, get involved. Maintainers are gonna see, hey, this guy is much more motivated to get into GSoC. He's even joining the weekly calls. So you can get into weekly calls and keep on talking with mentor. Not for like not personal things, obviously, but around the project. So keep having a like basic communication level. Don't just straight away come up and say, hey, I want to contribute, and then just disappear for like 2 weeks and then just come up again and say, hey, this is the idea of my proposal. Don't be like that. Communication is the key in GSoC. Skill you'll learn along the way, but communication is the thing that is going to get you into GSoC. And while I'm talking about skill, there is one more point that I just remembered. Let's just say you are going for a problem statement, and beneath that problem statement it says the languages or the skills that you need to that you need to have to work on this problem. Let's just say you in my case it was written Git, GitHub, Golang, and Kubernetes. Now I knew GitHub, I knew Kubernetes, I didn't knew Golang that much. Obviously I studied Golang, but I have never worked with professionally with Golang. So whenever this is the also the case for you, like you are having three skills mentioned or four skills mentioned, and you are know around, you don't only know one of them that is mentioned. Like let's just say four skills are mentioned, you know three of them, and one you don't know. Still apply to that problem. Why? Because once you're working on that problem statement during your time GSoC time period, you'll obviously, as you'll be working every day, every single day with that thing, you'll obviously get a good grasp of that skill. But let's just say from the four, you don't know two, so don't go with that project because you'll just keep on learning the skills. You won't be able to work with those skills then. So I would say this is not a learning period. This is obviously you're working on a project, real time project. So make sure that you are going for the project that you like only have like only one skill that you don't have an idea about, so that you can learn along the way. You don't have like you there are three skills mentioned, you only know one and then you're applying, because then you'll only be learning about those new things. You won't be able to work on the project. So yeah, that is one of the points. I think these are the 2 points that are like basic and really good points that you need to take care of when applying for GSOC.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, so since we don't have any questions and it's been a long time, I think we should wrap up. So thanks, Shivang. Thank you, Shivang, a lot. Okay. One last question. Which skills are required to CNCF?
That is totally depends on you, Manish. Because I am from DevOps background. I am expected to have DevOps related skill. I don't know which background you are from. Let's just say you are from front end, so you are expected to know how to code in JavaScript, know how basic HTML, CSS. So you aren't expected to have like god level skills. You are expected to have basic knowledge of everything that is in your domain. Like you're expected, like if you tell me, Manish, that I am a front end developer, so I immediately expect you to have a basic knowledge of JavaScript. If I tell you ki Manish, write loop for loop for me in JavaScript or anything. I don't know what all is in JavaScript, but if I ask you some basic stuff, I expect you to write that for me. I don't expect you to create a full website for me with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all of your own. Yeah, you're MERN stack. So I expect you to have a basic knowledge of Node.js, React.js, MongoDB, Express.js. I expect, obviously, you are saying you are a MERN stack developer. Because if you are saying that you are something, you should have something to back that up. So obviously, if you are having MERN stack, then go ahead with and contribute to the projects that are with MERN. But if you are asking exclusively for CNCF, CNCF is cloud native domain. As I said, the name itself says Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So it's obviously going to have cloud related technologies. So, and I don't think Merge stack helps there. So Golang is one of the Golang and Python are the languages in which most of the tools are written. So if you know either of those, then you can go ahead and get involved with CNCF. Or if you are into DevOps also, then also you can get involved with CNCF as I am. So Merge stack I don't think quite helps with CNCF. There are a few folks who say it does, but I've myself never seen folks with Merge stack getting involved with CNCF. You can get involved with documentation part. Obviously, documentation doesn't require any kind of technical skills. So yeah, you can get involved with non-technical stuff in CNCF. That'd be amazing. But I don't think Monstack would help with CNCF. But yeah, GSoC has many projects. CNCF is just one organization that comes for GSoC. There are so many organizations with Monstack that comes. So go ahead and try your luck with there.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope that answers the question, Manish. Yeah, it's almost one hour and 37 minutes have passed. Yeah, time flies. So thank you, Shivang. It was a great session with you.
I
And
hope you are able to get some knowledge.
yeah, obviously, I learned a lot from you today, and hopefully the audience did that too. Um, so thank you for joining me today, and thank you for sharing your valuable tips and strategies and all about GSoC. uh, yeah, so thank you folks, and thank you everyone for joining us, and hopefully do share your learnings in public. You can take a screenshot of the session and then write a blog, or maybe write threads on Twitter or LinkedIn, and then tag me or tag Shivang. It would be really helpful. And yeah, always do learn in public and build in public, because learning and building in public really helps you to increase your profile, increase your personal branding level. Yeah.
Thank you everyone, and hope you get
Yeah.
selected for GSoC 2024.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year in advance again.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Happy New Year in advance, everyone. So,
Okay,
bye.
bye bye.
Bye.